We're going to know the law this Friday. Our friend Rachel Pappy, she's partner and vice president of Polston Tax, here to keep us in the know about taxes. And here's a question that I've asked myself so many times is, why don't people pay taxes? I see these commercials all the time. I was like, look, there's two things Ben Franklin says you cannot escape, and death and taxes. Why don't people pay taxes?
Yeah, that's a question I get asked a lot, and I'm really glad I get an opportunity to talk about this, because I don't want to talk today to the people who owe taxes. I want to talk to the people who judge the people who owe taxes.
And I'm guilty of it, because I was like, well, why don't you got to pay it?
Yeah, no.
So I'm part of that group.
Plenty of my friends ask me, why do you help people essentially break the law? And I tell them, I'm not helping them break the law. I am using the exact same tax code you're using to claim your children as a deduction, to claim your spouse on your tax return, to deduct your charitable donations on your tax return, to reduce your tax liability. In that same IRS code, it says there's an offer in compromise available. There's a payment arrangement available to taxpayers. So taxpayers who come in to me, one, they didn't mean to owe taxes. That's one thing I want everyone to know.
Right.
We're not representing people who are evading their taxes, who are obstructing justice, who are trying to get away with something nefarious. We represent people who have voluntarily called us because they are done with being tormented, with being depressed over this, with being suicidal. I can't count the number of people who come in crying in that consultation.
And there's a lot of shame probably associated with it.
There's so much shame, and they're isolated. They don't tell people. You know, we have clients tell us every week, I'm at my son's birthday party and I can't enjoy it because I can hear the voices in my head nagging me about my taxes that I owe. So these people call because they want to get this resolved. You know, a verse that got posted on our social media was, give unto Caesar what is Caesar's and give unto God what is God, which is a great verse, but also kind of doesn't make sense because everything is God's if you're Christian.
That's true.
But to that point, if you're going to make the point about taxes being biblical, it's funny because Matthew was a tax collector, and when he met Jesus, he left it. He's like, I'm done with this. Now, jokes aside, people really owe taxes for good reason.
Right.
When people have a business, and that's what you need to understand first. Most of our clients are self-employed or business owners, which is significantly different than getting the same amount in a paycheck every 2 weeks and knowing you're going to get paid by the employer. The employer deals with income that goes like this. Industries change, businesses change, customers leave, contracts end. So you have a business that maybe starts here with whatever, low income, low overhead, and then that income starts to generate. Well, those expenses go up too. Now they've got to buy inventory, they have payroll, they may have to get an office, they have to pay for utilities. As those expenses go up with the income, what if that income drops down? So now they still have to pay the payroll for the people they employ, the rent, the utilities, and maybe the taxes are the thing that they don't have the money for. And the same thing happens over and over again. Business owners, self-employed people think, this is going to change, it's going to turn around, I'm going to catch up.
Right.
But the IRS adds penalties and interest that compound and accrue on themselves, so you get in this cycle you just can't dig yourself out of.
And I imagine, just as you're speaking, I was thinking, and tax codes change too, and so that's why it's important to have a professional there that kind of is forecasting that and saying, hey, you know, let us kind of show you exactly where you're going to be in a year from now, and that sort of thing. And so making sure that the taxes are taken care of will alleviate a lot of those stresses that you might have, and that's what Polston Tax does.
That's exactly right.
All righty. If you want more information on Polston Tax Resolution and Accounting, they've got 5 locations in Oklahoma City, Edmond, Norman, Tulsa, and Wichita. You can call them at 405-801-2146. Got a relative maybe somewhere across the country that needs help too? Guess what? They assist clients nationwide. There's several ways you can get in touch with Polston Tax and Resolution and Accounting. Just look for Polston Tax on all social media. Their website is polstontax.com.